So here we start the second turn in the first hand of Dragonhunt. And our first player is going to be over here purple. And as normal, I go around with my counterclockwise instead of clockwise. I don't want to break that. Anyway, we've got a normal brimstone. He's going to fly around and hit things. I'm not going to do that all on video. I'll come back. He managed to take out one purple piece. Purple moved him too close, and brown was able to wipe something out. He's now in the midst of brown's stuff after jerking around a little bit. At this point, purple has the being choice decision. What does he want to use? The Banisher's terribly useless, really. So the question is, can I use a teleporter to do something of value? The answer is probably. I have a problem, though, in that the village here has been taken from me. I'd like to take it back, but it's tough to do that when there's a hero sitting in it. It might be taking a crapshoot with my own hero. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shot at Brimstone with my hero. And just push it into place there. That way, if I get to go early in the turn, I'll get a shot at him. If I don't get to go early, somebody will probably have wounded him. With 6 players, you're going to see a decent amount of wounding happening without the game progressing very far. It's a much shorter game than, say, 3 players. Because there's so many slots available for the wounding. Of course, if there are people who aren't particularly aiming at Brimstone and are trying to build up their own forces for whatever reason or whatever and wasting time, the game may actually go quicker because the people who are trying to win are going to have more opportunities to accumulate their victory. Who was the second being controller? He got a roll that allowed him to move in either direction 6 or 5. By moving in direction 5, he lands here, which is the only way of blocking a flying critter. And now the blue player has the opportunity to, attack that knight, I think. They must. They say nothing happens to either unit. That's not going to happen that way. But we'll see. So the Vanisher, using his power, has a strength of 5. The Knight has a strength of 4 there because of the mountain. So we'll give the Vanisher the red die at +1. He succeeds. Now, the player controlling it is going to get to choose where it sends this orange piece. I don't want it near me. I don't want it near Brimstone. I'll put it out here. And that actually may be worse than death, because it's very, very far. It would take a lot of movement actions to get it somewhere, whereas a dead piece is going to show up, in my castle at a fairly reasonable level amount of time. Now, orange has a lot of dead pieces, but that's a pretty potent ability to strip pieces all the way over there. All right, now everybody's got to pick their cards. I'm not going to go into this in the detail that I did, but rest assured what I'm doing is I'm counting how much I think I'm going to move. And if I don't have a good number to choose, then I'm going to kind of randomize it, or maybe say, hey, I really want the first creature. In some cases, getting the first creature may be more important than some optimized point value, and I also will be making that kind of decision. But it's going to be kind of tricky solo, because there's these decisions on, if I put the 7 down, is that really going to get me the lowest? Will I get that being choice? Because if not, obviously I want to put higher, so it then does become kind of randomized. When I'm playing it opposed, there's this psychological game going on between the players as to what the bids are going to be. The fact that you have to get the highest or the lowest unmatched bid is really a kind of clever little design. So, as I've noted elsewhere on Board Game Geek, clever design it may be, very Euro-ish, and totally unconnected to the subject matter. What does it mean? What do these bids mean anyway? And why this tying matter and this, that, and the other? It's a pure gamey mechanism. And it's interesting to see it so early in a game as this. It's not something I particularly like. I mean, when I first saw this, I thought, oh, that's cool. But now that I see that there are, you know, I don't know, I don't have all that many, but tons of games that use these mechanisms that are apropos of nothing in the subject matter that they're talking about, it kind of disgusts me now. You know, this is impressive because it was early. I'll say the same for something like Geronimo. Geronimo was one of the earlier war games to kind of, and obviously We the People would have been as well, to start adding these kind of, okay, but what are you representing with this? What does it mean? Attitude. And it definitely has worn itself out for me after looking at, you know, I don't know how many euros over my time. But too many of them are based on mechanisms that don't seem to have anything to do. They're not representing anything in the topic of the game. Let's look at those bids, because they don't fit into the storyline at all, so we have to look at them in detail. Some low bids over there, and some fairly high ones here. Looks like only one match up the 8s, and it's really a pity. Purple was playing an 8. They were kind of happy because they're not playing a 7, so they figured they wouldn't match up with anyone. They'd get away without a double. But honestly, a lot of people kind of just randomized their bids. They didn't have anything really they intended to do. Yellow's going to get to open things up, and he gets the being choice marker. This will stay here. We know that he's going to go last, so that's fine. Yellow does not have a hero. One of the reasons they didn't really know what they wanted to do. They're going to be able to use their sniper, though, to hit this hero here. Of course, the hero has a defensive bonus, so we're talking -2 on the die roll. But it's a free shot. Might as well do it. It can't hurt me. Beyond that, I don't really know what to do. I may try to move a sniper over to start taking the village on the sea and try to hit that. This works a lot better with the non-player villages and castles, because your sniper just walks over there and starts shooting it, and he's completely invulnerable. If he walks over there to this and shoots it, well, these guys are going to, on their turn, attack him. So snipers become much more valuable when there's less than full complement of players. They're totally useless against the dragon. Alright. I don't know what to do about this. We don't know who the second being is because we had a tie there. Anyway. I did some movement towards Blue's village, but I don't really have any great goal in mind, and blinked at this. Oh, what the hell. Let's attack this orange thing, too. Always killing off other people's stuff is always fun. Alright, I guess I go on to... So the goal is to kill Brimstone. Brown moved everything in here. Ended up with a +6 on the table, but rolled a really crappy roll. 4 + 6 is 10. That still gets me a dragon card. If you know, there are really bad results down here, so if I had gotten like a 2, I still would have been okay because I had a lot of strength there. Dragon card says Brimstone's going to kill 2 of my attackers. Well, we'll take our men-at-arms. And that did not work out as hoped, but that's okay. Green's not able to do much about the dragon, but they position themselves so that they can attack a couple of snipers that they feel are threatening them. This one's just an even attack. And they get the kill there. But this one, I've got the hero against 2, so that's +3. 8. I kill myself. Another sniper. And the idea there is you don't want those things wandering around near you. They're too dangerous. I also fortified my village that I gained in exchange for the one that I lost. And that puts me on to blue, who also probably isn't going to be dealing much with Brimstone. So purple made their attack on Brimstone. Otherwise, they didn't have a lot they wanted to do. They sent this out. They'd like to hunt some of green pieces, maybe take their village back, whatever. They failed with Brimstone. They ended up just getting him his hero wounded. Now we go to orange, and orange has an interesting position here. Not only does he maybe have a swing at Brimstone if he throws his hero against something like this knight. Now that's a risky shot, but okay. But he also probably wants to attack with this knight. Like I said, that's a fate worse than death. Well, you can fix that by making it death. And when you're next to something that can probably kill you, it's worth hitting. Orange launched a couple of attacks. A sniper finishing off a unit that was too close to his castle. And then the hero plowed his way through, killed the knight there. Had like a +2 on it, but then hitting Brimstone, he ended up getting killed. Rolled fairly low. This is the second wound, and that's more difficult to succeed in. That's the real problem, is your hero, your chance with your hero alone of getting a wound straight up is quite hard. You need a 10 or higher. But the dragon card says you need a 7 or higher, and there's a decent number of ways to wound Brimstone in there. If you don't have the troops available to swarm Brimstone and get slight advantage, it is a little difficult to kill him or to get those additional wounds on this chart. That's the one thing that makes it valuable, though, perhaps, to get some kind of production capability, because if you can cover the board with, you know, all your pieces and other people aren't that far ahead or aren't as advanced as you are in terms of number of pieces, you do have an advantage towards being able to hit Brimstone. The problem is that production capability. I don't know who's got an extra village here. Blue's got an extra village. He's going to get a few more men-at-arms, but that's it. Again, in the lesser number of players, you can grab more territories because the neutral held areas are pretty easy to take over. Your sniper can just do it over time, but you know, it takes several hands to get into a position where the game's getting close to being won. It seems, oh, we got a couple of wounds, great, and now I'm going for another one. Yeah, I could have gotten very lucky. Alright, good old Brimstone flew around, killed a man-at-arms. Now we're on the first being choice. That's Yellow's choice. He doesn't have something he really wants to teleport near Brimstone. The addition, though, of being able to take a village might be the best thing he can do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll teleport my sniper over there to get me closer. Another thought had been to try to use the Banisher and send someone else off somewhere stupid. Second being's orange. It's the Banisher choice, 5 and 3. That won't send him anywhere. And that won't send him anywhere. Well, he doesn't want it going near him, so he'll fly over there. Now it's bid time. Okay, being choice goes to the guy who picked a 12. 3 people picked 9s, 2 10s. That's got to be kind of interesting. Now that means he's probably going to be able to use the teleporter. So he picked this 12 with the intention of attacking with these this turn, because the hero can probably get a shot later. Now he can't get all of these in. I think he can get a fair value though here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's just 4. I thought I had it here. 10, 11, 12, 13. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that's not working out the way I thought it was. I thought I had another one in there. Well, 14 will have to work. So that's 3 and 4 is 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll run up to there. Let's go here instead. 8, 9. 10. 11, 12. So I've got a 4 on the dragon. That's not great at all. But first I get to attack here. And we'll be fighting a knight. We're only a +2. I guess I'm rolling these out for some reason. Wipe. I turned for purple. I ended up wounded. Could have been worse. And then Brimstone, through a dragon card, ends up killing all pieces adjacent and going to his lair. Now he gets a defensive bonus in his lair. He doesn't get defensive terrain anywhere else, but he gets the lair bonus, which I think is 2 points. That makes it harder for anyone to attack him while he's in there. And it's getting down to the end though here. This is the third turn on the hand. So everybody kind of wishes they could get a wound each hand, basically. If you can't get one wound in a hand, you're kind of feeling like you're falling behind the, I don't know, patter of victory. The next one is going to be the 9s. And we'll be doing green first. He kind of expends his hero foolishly. He goes in here, kills a knight, but then attacks the castle to the north. Now you get a definite production improvement if you can take another castle, another village, whatever. Castles are tougher to take though, but this looked fairly undefended with just 2 knights. So I thought I'd risk my hero on that since I'm not going to get the swing on Brimstone that I thought I might. If you're going to throw your hero away, this is probably about even odds. This not so much. You do want to sort of throw your hero away every hand. There's no reason to not use, to not lose him in a hand if you're taking some reasonable risks. You don't want to lose him early in the hand because he can do good things, throughout. He's a powerful piece. But if you didn't at least chance losing him and gain things in doing so, or else lose him trying to gain useful things, you're probably not using him very well. See who's up next. It's on orange. Sometimes it's hard to justify doing or not doing anything. Yellow dumped an attack into the village of the sea. Ended up being a complete failure. They also tried to kill the teleporter. Not quite sure why, but low odds in both cases. Brown, though, sent their hero off and grabbed the sunken village. And this is what the hero is really good at. He can pretty much take a village from its starting position. We've seen that happen in a number of cases. So that now puts Brown at a 2-village edge as well. One of the reasons to hit blue was they were the other one with the advantage. Now we have blue as the last player in this. And continuing in that vein, well, blue wiped out a bunch of their own units trying to attack the Banisher for some reason. They killed off the sniper that was near them. But their hero ran up and took another village. So now they're at 3 villages. They should get a lot of production from that. Assuming they can hold them all. We do have to go through another hand. Terminology there, turn. Well, things have just taken a serious turn here. Yellow directed Brimstone's movement. He was just piddling around, not doing anything. Over an orange piece. A knight in the mountains, That's a pretty good bonus. Ends up wounding. Okay, so that's the second wound for orange. That's making orange look like a real threat. And then, enraged, it came here, and the die roll was high enough to get a dragon card. Brimstone is wounded. Enraged, he kills every unit that is within 2 spaces. So that's his third wound, or his third wound, which means he's going to get a magic sword. Now, he could take a knight off to take care of that, and this could all be over very quickly. However, everything within 2 is destroyed. He was already enraged enough, which is causing... This is one of the more odd times that I've seen playing, but yeah, it can happen where you just kind of luck into the game if you've got a lot of troops around there. Question is what the other players should do. Should they, direct Brimstone over your stuff to try to kill it, which usually works, or, should they be terribly worried about such a lucky occurrence? As enraged, Purple's using the teleporter to put his hero next to Brimstone, allow him to maybe get a wound on him. It's going to be his first wound shot. More importantly, this is the 4th card for this hand, which means you lose your hero now, you get him back immediately. Chances are I'm not going to be able to get my village back, so this seems like the best opportunity that I have to do something. I could have maybe sailed somewhere and teleported to take someone else's village somewhere. One thing I don't do much in my solo plays, but you would in an opposed game, is try to reason out more about what's been played. Knowing that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10s have been played, you know that a 10 is a safe card. If you get the lowest play, if your card's the lowest, you'll end up in the first position, and no matter what, you're not going to tie, so you're going to end up early in the turn, which seems wise. And a lot of disparity in the points bid. We got a 7 out there that stands alone, so that's going to give being choice over with orange, which is very cool, because if the teleporter's still around next turn, his hero can teleport over to the dragon. This turn, he might as well take a shot with the knight, see if he can win the game all at once. It's only a knight. Granted, he's not going to get that many troops back, but, he doesn't have much purpose to soldiers anymore. His main purpose in the game is now try to get the hero at an unenraged dragon, preferably. Last choice, unknown. There's a tie. The tie, funny enough, is over on the 12s. Everyone else picked their own number. So this is a game of taking chances in a lot of ways. And what we're going to do is orange took its movement. They only took 5 of their 7 to run this knight with the sword. The knight is the strongest piece he has on the board, so he's allowed to carry the mage sword. He's facing an enraged dragon, so it's got 2 heads and the other points. And now I have to find out how much magic sword that I have. This is unlikely to work, but you want as many chances as you can get. And losing a knight might suck, but it's not, a devastating loss. He's going to get more things back, and he's just focusing on the dragon from now on. So the mage sword only gives me +3 of these little tokens. And then I have 2 more. I would say that's still a fairly even fight. I've got as many of these tokens as the dragon has pieces. And now I'll take my swing at the dragon, and this is kind of lame, but in terms of lots of mechanical actions to just determine something, but it is the high point of the game, I suppose. And I've lopped off one of the dragon's heads. And the dragon comes back, and he hits me. If I had gotten a better roll on the mage sword, I would have had a pretty good chance here. I come back, I hit the body piece, and the dragon misses. And now, this looks even to me at this point. I miss. There are none of those, but a head hits me. Now I'm behind again. I lop off another head, and the dragon misses. I should try to get both into the field of view here. I take off his wings. The dragon hits me. And you can see it's getting more and more unlikely that either of us will hit here. It's coming down to the wire. Alright, I'm going to keep rolling dice until somebody gets a 5. The red die will be the knight. That happens first, so if they both come up 5s. And that's the game. I don't think I've ever seen it end this quickly. That sweep through was very, very fortuitous for Orange, where he managed to get 2 wounds all at once. But, you know, you can't complain when a game ends this quickly in that sense. What you kind of get a feeling for is, well, there's a lot of randomness in here, and there really isn't a whole hell of a lot you can do strategy-wise. You didn't even get to see part of the game, the reformation of, you know, how troops were going to come back on the board and what the advantage of taking these villages, etc. is. Usually when I play, it goes at least 3 or 4 hands. That's a pretty decent-sized game for the modern audience. For its own time, though, it felt like a fairly quick game always, but sometimes it seemed to drag a little too much, especially in a lot of people. Especially solitaire, where, you know, you're not really playing, you're not sitting there, you know, with this hand of cards saying, which one do I do? What do I do there? That's kind of the cool aspect of the game. Anyway, I'll send this up. Sorry you didn't get to see really the full game play of it, but I think in the introduction I gave enough explanation of that, and I'll go into a little bit about why I don't think that those, you know, you could spend the whole game basically chasing after these villages and fighting one another, and if you do that, you're dragging the game out, because you can win if you get lucky, as long as you get, you know, you just go for your wounds when you can get them. If you can't get those, well, then it may make sense to improve your production and your replacement rates. Actually, it's only your reinforcements that get affected. Your replacements get affected in the sense of whether or not you get to place pieces on the board, though. So losing all your villages would suck. The other thing is having all other villages may give you additional options to put troops closer to the dragon. But it's all pretty lame compared to, you know, inconsequential compared to just trying to hit the dragon multiple times. The more you get attacks on him, the more chance you have of accumulating those 3 wounds. Once you get them, this is sort of a worst of all situations. I don't have a hero, all I got is a knight, and I still get away with a victory out of it. And that's why I took it, because it's not that much worse than 50-50 once you get the sword, no matter what you've got going in there. All right, let's